Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Mugs and Mikes podcast. This is Zeke, but I can't do this alone. I brought some friends along for the ride. We got GameCubeDude.
What ride exactly? I don't know what the ride is.
It's Star Wars Tours, the Star Tours from Disney.
Oh, that new attraction in Disneyland.
Yes, that one.
That's opening later down the line. Okay, whatever, I can wait.
All right, I also brought HackGame.
Hello, everybody.
And we got a new and improved I'm Nomadic.
Hello there.
Notice how super sexy his microphone sounds? Still not as good as mine, though.
Yeah.
But, this is definitely an improvement from, what were you using, a cell phone?
Yes.
Why did we let you on this podcast again?
Because
Well,
I'm the
right,
reason
right,
everyone
right.
subbed to this
Memes.
podcast?
Memes.
Memes and diversity, remember?
Exactly.
I'm not going into the diversity thing again.
Yeah, come on, let's not do this.
I am not.
All right, so, let's just get this right started real quick. We got a fun episode planned for y'all. It's just a simple one. Star Wars Day, if you don't know already, is May 4th. The whole phrase, May the 4th be with you. So we want to do a quick Star Wars episode for y'all.
Hooray.
And then later down the line, we will be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, we got to keep Hack happy.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
He's so needy. I swear to God, it's impossible to work with this child.
Hey, Hack's the reason this podcast is so popular to begin with.
True. Those clickbaiting thumbnails really do work. Am I right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Wait, what?
So let's just get started with, let's go around the table and figure out everyone's history with Star Wars. Let's start with Nomad.
I started watching Star Wars. I was born a few months before The Phantom Menace came out, so I grew up with the prequels and the original trilogy. The prequels, I really liked them when I was younger. I can admit they're flawed, but they hold a special place to me because I grew up with them. Episode 3 especially, I love Episode 3. It might actually be my favorite of this whole Star Wars trilogy. Unpopular opinion, I know, but I liked it.
All right, GameCubeDude, do you have, what's your history with Star Wars?
So my history with Star Wars is a little bit of tasty irony, I would say. I originally found out about Star Wars during when the not the Phantom Menace. The Revenge of the Sith came out. Everybody really was into that movie. And for some reason, the kids at my school tried to bully me by calling me Luke Skywalker all the time. Every time I walk into class, they're like, "Hey, Luke Skywalker!" And I don't know why, but it really got to me for some reason a lot of times. I'm just like, why are you calling me this? My last name is not Skywalker. But looking back on it, I don't know if they were trying to pay me a compliment or if they were trying to insult the actual character by comparing him to me. Whatever works, I'm completely over it now, as you can tell.
My brother's name is Luke, so he had to deal with that all the time. So I don't think it was an insult. It's them just saying, "Oh, popular character is Luke Skywalker, so let's just call him Skywalker."
I don't get it, but whatever. I guess it wasn't that bad. It might have been a little annoying to kid me, but if someone calls me Luke Skywalker in public nowadays, I'm just gonna be like, "Is there a Star Wars thing nearby? I'll go with you."
Do they ever see people walk at the sky?
That's not possible.
You can't walk on the sky.
Silly boy.
All right, so Hack, what is your history with Star Wars?
I can't necessarily say that I'm a Star Wars fan, of course. But
Oh,
Then
you are
why do we
such
have
a
you on
hack.
here?
You are such a hack.
We brought
But-
him on because of Sonic. That's why.
Oh yeah, Sonic.
But of course, that doesn't mean that I've never heard of Star Wars. I have seen it in the background, but I wasn't really much interested in it because of how much of the popularity it's getting, even though Sonic hasn't.
Did you at least watch the movies?
Once I did, but I don't really remember it, which is the thing, because...
Come on, Hack. Don't be a hipster.
Do you even know what the Force is?
Nope.
It's when you lick your palm and you shove it in someone's face, and then they jolt back.
Okay, so I got a bad feeling about this.
I mean, why else did we add Sonic to the topic here?
Because you're useless without him. Thanks,
Aha.
Sonic, that, you have a place in this podcast.
Yep. Just be glad Sega didn't kill him off a few years ago like they did with their other franchises.
Oh, really?
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about Star Wars right now.
All right, what are we
Okay.
going to talk about specifically? Are we going to talk about the new movies?
I guess so. I mean, we can go through everything. We could start with the prequels, talk about the original trilogy. Now we can go to the new movies and see what everyone thinks about them.
I say,
as a
I think it'd be
longtime
better idea
fan,
to talk. I
sorry.
was gonna say, I think it's a better idea if we talked about the order the movies came out in.
Okay, let's do that. So I believe it was 1977 when The New Hope came out.
I
Yeah,
believe so.
good movies.
I wish we would have figured this out. I would have had dates for all this.
I mean, I don't really care about the dates. I just care about the movies themselves. So there was The New Hope, good movie. Empire Strikes Back. A lot of people say that one's better.
I'm not a big
personally-
fan of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I can
Really?
get you there. Honestly,
Return
I
of the
think,
Jedi was my favorite of the original trilogy. Personally, I just thought it was a great way to end off the series.
I definitely agree.
It was
Oh.
it was a good movie, but what I don't get is why do so many people have problems with the Ewoks?
I don't know.
Because
It was a tribal culture that was getting their land invaded by the stormtroopers. Of course, the stormtroopers are gonna get an ass beating from them.
I mean, at least they served
Well,
more
it's not-
purpose than the Porgs did.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it's the problem people have with them is not because of the fact that they're like a tribal people. It's more the fact that it's like a thing. It's like they're used to sell toys.
Oh, that's a good point. Too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But here's another complaint I've heard. I've heard this actual complaint before. Someone was complaining, "Oh, the last movie, The Return of the Jedi, it's stupid because a stormtrooper was taken down by a rock. All the Ewok just throws a rock at him." Hey, moron! Have you had a rock thrown at you? It hurts. I promise you, it hurts.
All
Even-
right,
even
so
with,
And
like, a
did the
helmet
remember
on,
the
like,
Emperor,
the
the
helmet
Emperor's
could, like,
throne
push
room?
back
That
and
was
break your
definitely
nose.
the Emperor's throne room was definitely the best scene in the movie for me.
Oh, definitely.
You mean the never mind.
Yeah, the part when the bring your kid to work day scene.
Wow.
best way
Yeah.
to describe it.
Yep, bring your
Dude,
kid
I
to
think
work day.
that might be my favorite part in the whole movie is when Darth Vader redeems himself by picking up the Emperor and just throwing him into the abyss. I thought that was so cool.
That is an awesome part of the movie. Did you know, going back to The New Hope, did you know that editors pretty much saved that movie from being just terrible?
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a YouTube kind of like a mini documentary talking about it. Like there's a big intro scene that had made no sense. That had nothing to do with any of it. Yeah, George Lucas. He's a smart man, but he kind of like someone needs to rein him in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's good at coming up with
that's being
concepts, bad
nice.
with following through with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fun fact! One of the rebel pilots in A New Hope, he's actually the uncle of Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels.
I heard about that one. That's
You
pretty
told me
cool.
about this.
Yeah, both great actors, by the way.
George Lucas, back on the topic of him. When he's good, but when he's bad, he's cringy.
I would agree.
Yeah.
We all remember that disaster Jar Jar Binks, right?
Oh, I
Well,
thought you were
he-
talking
he-
about the Christmas special.
Okay, well, that was really bad. We probably shouldn't talk about that here.
But we are going to talk about that here because people like
Okay.
bad.
Well, all right. But as I was saying, in all honesty, I don't think Jar Jar is that bad. I think he's a little overhated. But they were forcing comedy into a movie that really did not. He was the element that was not needed and not wanted.
Misa don't know why people hate Jar Jar Binks.
Misa don't know why I'm hated so much. I just want to bring some slapstick in.
Well, as a character, he's
That's perfect.
as,
Say.
How'd you do that? That's amazing.
Oh, is it really that good?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I thought
really
you
good.
know
All right,
that's just
someone
saying
quick,
it.
give me a Jar Jar quote.
Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Mr. Jar Jar Binks. I was banished from city because, clumsy. You know, I didn't activate the cooling rod and, you know, boom. Power plant boom. I sent cities to Dark Ages.
If anyone knows a fan project that needs Jar Jar Binks for any reason, reach out to GameCubeDude. Send him his way, because he got the perfect Jar Jar Binks.
And we were talking about this one time.
That
Jar
doesn't feed my ego at all.
And we were talking about this one time. There's this one book. It reveals what happened to Jar Jar after Return of the Jedi, and it is quite sad, honestly.
Oh, really?
I don't know. He is a street performer that
He was basically banished from society because he was the one that helped get Palpatine into politics in the first place. Without Jar Jar, Palpatine wouldn't have rose to power.
So yeah, everyone blames Jar Jar, and now he has no position whatsoever. So now he's just a street performer that plays for all the orphan kids of war. He performs to them and makes their lives happy.
Wow, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like bittersweet almost, you know?
How so?
I mean, yeah, he has no political power whatsoever. He has no job whatsoever, but at the same time, he is performing and helping these kids' lives be better.
I guess. Way to look at the positives. You're really good at that, you know?
Oh, thank you.
And he's a better character
Sometimes
than
that's not a
Rose from The Last Jedi.
So anyway, what should we move into next about the Star Wars movies? We've
I
think we've sucked off the original trilogy, enough.
Let's talk about The Last Jedi. I have a lot to say about that.
All right.
Okay, let's go in there.
Actually, wait. Okay, I saw The Force Awakens, but I did not have any interest in The Last Jedi, so I'll tell you right now, I don't care about spoilers. I'm probably not going to watch that movie anyway. Take it away.
They really did cut down Snoke's character by half. I'd say that.
He had character to begin with. He was in 2 scenes in The Force Awakens.
No, he means literally
you
cut in half.
It's kind of like the sale down in the mall, half off everything. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, I need to learn Snoke's weight loss technique. He lost half his body weight.
Okay, so...
But no, from a cinematic standpoint, The Last Jedi is not a bad film whatsoever. The effects, the camera angles, everything, it's all great.
I did hear about this, actually. I've heard the movie was heavily criticized by many major Star Wars fans, but as a movie itself, I've heard it's decent.
It's all right on
its... It's a beautiful movie.
Good cinematography, good effects, all that. Heard all that.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike the original trilogy, the effects, for most people, couldn't save this movie.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the plots. So
okay.
There's a lot of things they were hinting at from episode 7 that they just fucking dropped. Do you remember the Knights of Ren? That Kylo Ren was supposedly the leader of? I wanted to see those guys. We only saw them in a brief flashback in episode 7, but nope.
Yeah, it's a lot of... I think the main problem with that movie was its hype got built up way too much. It's a victim of hype culture.
Yeah.
I feel like the first one, or The Force Awakens, was a victim of the more hype culture.
The problem I have with The Force Awakens is the opposite I have with The Last Jedi. Force Awakens, it just feels too much like what we've already seen.
Yeah, I get that.
And as a character, I mean, I like Kylo Ren. I think he's a great character. But aside from that, and also Finn's a decent character, I'm not a big fan of the new characters, honestly.
I like Finn, but Rey, her position.
No, Rey's just terrible.
Rey felt really forced, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, look at Luke, for example. Luke, when he tried to take on the big baddie of the film's Darth Vader, he got punished for his arrogance. Rey, she just takes on the big baddie of the film and wins instantly.
Exactly. And it was such bullshit main character stuff anyway.
Yeah.
True.
It's...
Honestly,
how long did it take Luke to learn the Force? Years? She knows it in literally no time at all.
I feel as if they're still trying to build up to that reveal of why she knows so much.
I mean, it better be fucking good.
I
They need
mean,
to
J.J.
fix what they've
Abrams
done.
is making the last film, so I'm hoping that he can redeem all these characters, but it's not looking good.
Here's my unpopular opinion. After I got done seeing that movie, I thought it's my personal favorite Star Wars movie.
The Force Awakens.
Yes.
What? Wow.
Is it still?
Yes. I mean,
Wow.
I haven't seen it again. I have the DVD of it.
Wow. Okay.
Let me defend it, okay? Let me just step on the podium, play devil's advocate
Okay.
real
All
quick.
right. Please try.
The way I like it is it's subverting expectations with the whole like I've seen someone describe this before, like the part when Finn goes off with what's her face, Daisy, was it, or the other chick? Nomad, help me out here.
The Last Jedi? We're talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
no, we're
Rose?
talking about the Force.
I thought she was a
Rose,
terrible
Rose.
character, pointless.
Trust me, I hate Rose.
Yeah, I mean,
but at the same time,
as a character, the actress herself, I don't think she did a bad job as Rose. Realistically, I don't think the best actors could have saved this character personally.
oh, I'm not judging the actor.
Oh yeah, of course,
I
not
hate the character.
whatsoever. It's just her point in the film is pointless. The
Let
Canto
me just talk
bite
about the
scene.
positives real quick. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The Canto bite scene. The environment itself is all right, but it just feels really forced in, and
I liked it. Like they thought they can like send two people to try to like do a covert mission to try to figure out how to stop the Empire to chasing them.
I mean, the way
And it didn't
Rose
work.
unrealistically sucks up to Finn. What I think would have been an interesting plot twist if she turned out to be a First Order spy, and that's how they were tracking them.
That would have been pretty cool.
I know that would be the one thing that could save that character for me if they revealed that in the next film. But
Maybe.
it doesn't look like they're going that direction.
Like it's pretty funny though because they're like reprimanding this episode's like Han Solo for doing the reckless things. They're pretty much telling him, "Hey, listen, we're trying to survive here. We can't sacrifice 10 or 20 ships just to kill one of these like juggernaut things."
And also Vice Admiral Holdo, she just felt very forced in as a character.
She was kind of weird, but at the
I
same
felt
time,
like it would have been a bit better if they had Admiral Akbar in there instead. Would have been a lot
Yeah,
more
Trap!
because he's a much more well-loved character. I think that would have made the sacrifice a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, and I liked the whole reveal where it's like this was all Leia's idea to begin with giving her that much power to. Like,
And
kinda keep
also
Luke down.
when they decide to hold back information from that, why? There's no explanation
yeah, that
given.
makes sense.
I mean,
Oh,
they
I
could have
heard about
just
this,
they could have just
actually.
simply said there was a suspected spy on board, and that would have made sense. Withholding information from people when there's a suspected spy on board
but at
makes
the same
sense.
time, in that type of situation, you don't want everyone to know that you're suspecting them. If
I
I've
mean,
been in
like-
businesses before where all the managers knew that someone was like robbing the store, like kind of stealing money out of the till, but we don't tell the rest of the employees. We just watch out for it.
I mean, there could have
I mean,
been something
I
where
heard
they
that in the-
there could have been something where the higher ups discussed this briefly amongst themselves, just so the audience knows what's going on. I mean,
I heard in the movie they withheld so much information that some of the guys literally had to take them hostage just to try and figure out what the hell was going on.
Yes, that did. It pretty much
See,
ended
that's
up being
that's
like that.
awful. That's awful character moves right there. I hate that. That's so dumb.
I can't defend a lot of this movie now that I'm really thinking about it, but I still really liked it.
Wow. You're already doubting it. You're doubting it on the podcast. That's not a good thing to do.
I
nope.
wanted to like the whole thing. I knew we were going to be doing this episode, and I was hoping to watch the newest Star Wars, but no one wants to watch it again with me.
Then watch it yourself.
I didn't have time to watch it myself.
Okay. Oh, so all of a sudden having another person watch with you gives it more time?
Well, yeah, it will help me. It will help someone else get on board.
That's
It
this is
doesn't really
probably
make
the worst
sense.
argument you've made yet.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, that was easy.
all right, let's
Yeah.
talk about the one spin-off film they did, Rogue One. What did you think of that one?
I enjoyed that one too.
I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely the least lighthearted of all the Star Wars films. It's a lot darker than the others. But from an effects point, it looks great. I really wonder what the original trilogy would have looked like with the stuff we have now after seeing Rogue One, because it looks really good.
Who knows?
Granted, the CGI
Honestly,
characters, they had CGI Grand Moff Tarkin and CGI Leia. It looked kind of too
It
fake
looked
at
kinda
times.
weird.
I didn't think it looked that bad, actually.
Really?
Yeah, no.
It was. They were on the screen for like 5 seconds apiece, so it wasn't like it's like uncanny. To
Also,
look
the
at
Darth
entire
Vader
time.
scene, easily the
Okay,
best.
alright, this is the gripe I have.
Uh-oh,
All right.
let's hear it.
So my friend was talking to me about this film. He's like, "Oh, dude, the Darth Vader scene makes it so worth it." I'm just like, "Okay, I'll watch this movie now." I watch it, and what does Darth Vader do? He talks, and then he kills some people.
Exactly,
Like
but they
names.
kill it.
This was the thing I was building up to. I've seen Darth Vader kill people already. I want something more. You idiots
It's
hyped this up for me,
scarier.
and it didn't pay off.
I mean,
Dang.
I
Put it-
saw
put
I
it
saw
this-
it back when it
put
was
it
new,
this
and I
way.
didn't buy into the hype, so that could be why. Maybe if you didn't really buy into the hype, you would have liked it a lot more.
If you put it
Probably.
this way, though, this was the first time Darth Vader was introduced to the characters of the film. Like, it's been, at this point, since it's, like, pretty much right when, The New Hope starts, it's been 30 years since The Last Jedi has been around. Was it 30 years or is it 20?
I
I'm
had
not too
20.
sure. 20 years. It's been 20 years since The Last Jedi has been, like, everyone thought the Jedis were extinct, and then now all of a sudden this guy dressed in all black comes around with a red lightsaber and just starts force choking and just slaughtering these people. It makes the rebels, like, it puts fear in these rebels. Like the guy pounding on the door saying help. That just shows like the pain and the fear they have.
Mm-hmm. The fact that it's all dark, then all of a sudden you just hear his breathing, and all of a sudden the room is illuminated by his lightsaber.
Uh-huh.
That's such a great
the
scene.
cinematics of that last scene, they were pretty good, but only 2 Darth Vader scenes. I wanted more, honestly.
I mean, let's just say though, can we all agree that Darth Vader had like the best single one-liner of all time?
Careful
He's
not
choking
to
that
choke
dude.
on your aspirations, director.
Wow. I
He
don't remember
did
that line.
A great one-liner and a pun at the same time.
You know what I think would have been a cool nod in that film?
What's
The
that?
scene in his castle's on Mustafar. What I think would have been a cool nod is if they just flew past the place where that final battle happened between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Would have been a cool nod to the prequels.
Well, I don't know how much the new directors want to nod to the prequels, given how much they've been criticized.
I mean, I'm sure Disney didn't buy Star Wars just to disown half of the franchise.
Oh, no, obviously they didn't. They bought it so they can, revive the franchise, give it more movie. Well, not even really revive. It was already still alive. But they're giving it new movies, new publicity. And they know Disney knew how much of a following Star Wars had. Why do you think they paid so much for it?
Exactly.
Because it's huge. I mean, they've already probably made back like 10 times the amount of money they used to buy it.
Oh, definitely. And with the whole free passes thing too, my brother gets free passes to movies. We're not allowed to get them 17 days after the movie's done, so they can make all the money they can get. And that's for every single free pass. Like if you have like a little certificate saying that I want to use this for the new Star Wars movie, you have to wait 17 days after the movie.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but at the same time, like it makes sense. It's business sense, but at the same time, it just makes them look like assholes.
I mean, the entire point of a business is to make money in the end. Doesn't matter like what you do. If you're a movie maker or if you're a lamp maker or whatever, your goal is to make money.
Oh, I understand that one.
And let's talk about one more thing, briefly before we move on to Sonic. The new Han Solo movie. What's your opinions on it so far?
Not
I actually-
interested.
I've actually seen the first trailer ever when I went to watch the Infinity War, and it looks interesting enough.
It looks decent, but I don't want them to rely too hard on nostalgia. I want the movie to be able to stand on its own.
I
Good
don't
luck
think
with
that's
that.
the movie for that.
I wonder
Or
if
I'm
they're
looking
gonna
forward to-
throw in.
I'm looking for that new.
I wonder if
oh,
they're
go
go-
ahead.
I wonder if they're gonna reference the Han shot first thing. You know, there'll be a one-liner saying, "Han has a habit of shooting first," or something along those lines.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cool nod.
Or they'll just do another crappy Photoshop effect.
Yeah.
Maybe someone doesn't actually know that. Okay, so anybody who doesn't know the story, in the original cut of A New Hope, Han actually shoots Greedo first when he says, "Over my dead body." But then, in the special editions and pretty much everything else after that, as far as I know, they did a really dumb effect where Greedo tries to shoot Han. Han's neck, pretty much looks like it's cracking sideways, and then he shoots Greedo.
I've always thought they've always I've always when I first saw that movie, I always thought Han had some kind of a force field, and he never shot. That was just a deflection of Greedo's bullet.
My first impression was that he actually shot it in perfect sync to where Greedo's shot deflected back at him. That's what I thought originally. But then you slow it down frame by frame, and you realize that's the crappiest Photoshop effect I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, you're talking about you've seen the special edition. I saw the original.
Oh wow!
I'm not that old, but I saw it before it was the DVD remasters.
Since we were talking
so
about,
you probably have a VHS tape then.
all right, back
Yeah,
on
I
the
have
Last
VHS.
Jedi for a little bit. The thing that interests me the most, the person who seemed to dislike the movie the most, was actually my dad, who grew up with the original trilogy and seen the prequels and liked the prequels as well. That was his least favorite Star Wars movie.
Rogue One?
No, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Wow.
That's been a common thing among Star Wars fans. They really do not like this movie for some reason.
I need to rewatch it, and the next podcast, I'm just gonna give a quick overview of if my feelings stand. How about that?
Sure.
Sounds good.
I mean, there is one argument I actually remember hearing somewhere. Someone was complaining about how the Force was used in The Last Jedi. They said, "Oh, the Force is too overplayed in this movie." So it's, I don't know, they were making some kind of complaints that what the Jedi were doing in the Last Jedi was too outlandish for the Force. Guys, the Force has always been an outlandish power. I mean, for God's sakes, people can telecommunicate, they can shoot lightning, they can move objects. The Force, I don't think the Force ever had a set standard. Never.
One of the other problems I have was with Luke's character and what they did with him.
What did they do?
I've never liked Luke Skywalker as a character.
Really?
I've never been a big fan of him. I don't know why. I think I like Obi-Wan way more.
I don't know why, but I kind of feel personally hurt by that. Huh. Weird.
The problem I have with his character is that it's just too big of a jump from the Return of the Jedi to this movie. I mean, and how he turned to Kylo Ren, how he just thought, "Oh, I feel a little bit of darkness with him. I'm gonna fucking kill him," even though I sense goodness in the darkest Sith Lord to ever live, and turn him back to the light side. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Considering all that he's
Plot hole.
yeah.
Oh well. I think there might be some reasoning behind it, and you never know, they might address everything and more on Episode 9.
Yeah, Episode 9 will be my last chance. If that redeems The Last Jedi, then alright. I'll give credit where credit's due.
At this point, I just don't have much of an interest in Star Wars anymore.
Nah.
I love the universe. It's just
It's
such a cool-
definitely an interesting
cool idea.
universe, but
Yeah.
I like the
Honestly,
old expanded universe a lot more.
If I can make a recommendation to any Star Wars fans listening to this, anyone who's seen the Star Wars movies, if you want something really good, look into the Star Wars expanded universe. I have a friend who does not shut up about the friggin' Star Wars expanded universe. Every time we're driving somewhere, he will bring it up. I'm just like, you realize you talked to me about this 50 times, right? He's like, well, I'm going to talk to you about it 50 more times.
The best novel is definitely the Plagueis novel. Explains the origin stories behind the Darth Plagueis story.
Oh, Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yep, it was a great novel.
That's a great story, and I'm not surprised I don't share it with you.
Yeah, I
See,
know.
there's a lot in this Star Wars universe, not just the movies. So, get
Just
to
a
read.
word of warning of the expanded universe. Some of it gets weird. I believe there was like a donkey that has force powers, or like
Oh,
a
yeah.
droid that has it. So be careful.
I believe the droid one was just comedic. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
You never know. You never know with sci-fi. But
Could've been a
anyway,
magnet.
let's. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the
just-
only Star Wars movie now that I'd really be interested in seeing is a Kenobi spinoff starring Ewan McGregor.
That would be cool.
Yes, if it stars anyone other than Ewan McGregor, I'll flat out refuse to watch it.
Wow.
All right, so let's not forget that we have HackGame with us, and I think
Hello.
it's about time to switch it up and talk about Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Hack, you better like have some good stuff to say. You realize you've been quiet for 25 minutes?
I have been. Well,
Alright, welcome back.
Here's the thing.
Oh, I said welcome back. So where are we going to start off this topic?
Oh, well, we're going to talk about Sonic. Well, first I would tell of how I know Sonic in the first place. Well, just to start off first, I don't exactly know of how I know Sonic, so I'll try to think of the best I can because it's a
I
pretty
remember.
awkward. It's a pretty awkward story, but around 10 years ago, I stumbled upon the internet where there was Sonic ROM hacks. Of course, I don't know Sonic at the time, but then when I look around the ROM hacks, they were really good. So I decided to play one of the ROM hacks called Sonic 1 Extended Edition, and I really liked that ROM hack. So then I was wondering about the whole fiasco thing about ROM hacks. But then that's when I come to play the emulators for the Sega Genesis called Fusion. No, not that kind of Fusion. But I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles first. It was really good, and I really love the gameplay. I played the entire thing. I even played Sonic 2 and 1, even though I didn't get the Chaos Emeralds. But
I was about to ask, are these ROM hacks how you came up with the name HackGame?
yes, actually. Well,
Ha.
Ha.
during
Yeah,
that
the origin story.
well, actually, in 2014 is when I came up with the name. When I was about to join a forum. I don't like using one of my old nicknames I won't mention here, but I decided.
Come on.
Okay, fine. Well, this name isn't around the internet, but I used to call myself GamerFan294, and if
How
you notice
original.
around.
I said how original.
That.
Very.
But if you look around my social media, you'll find 294 around it. So.
Yeah, what's up with the 294 anyway? Was that just a default number given to you?
No, it was just a random number that I came up with when I was a kid.
That makes sense.
I just.
Okay.
So I kind of like originate that name around there and put it to my name that I have right now.
It kind of works. HackGame 294.
HackGame 294.
Except
It
in
sounds like a
Discord,
radio
your name is
station.
Hack101. So change that. It's not as cool.
Well, that's only in the server. I'm actually named HackGame in Discord generally. Well, anyway,
So why'd you change your nickname to 101?
I thought it was alright. It's
I
just a
don't.
nickname for the
I know.
server.
I don't like it. Put it back.
Where were we again?
Fine.
Oh, yeah.
we're talking
we're
about
talking about
Sonic.
our
I should just change it right now.
Oh
we're
my
talking
God,
about our
did he?
origin stories with Sonic.
Change his-
Oh, you want to play
Okay,
that
I'm
game,
not
Hack?
saying why he
I
changed
could
his
play
name.
that
It's
too.
supposed to be a Christian server, remember, Hack? According to Nomad. Well, he just changed his name to the N-word. Oh my goodness. I'm kidding, he didn't actually do that.
okay. But then I played the classic games and they're really good. And later around the time is when I found a teaser trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Of course, it eventually went into a mediocre game. But when I was a kid, I was really excited for it, even though I didn't get a chance to play it. So I'm like, yay, Sonic the Hedgehog! And then like,
Hey
and then
guys, what do you think of my name?
The joke's over.
Okay.
He named himself the gay retard, for those wondering. It's over.
Okay.
It's over, you're too late.
Oh no. Anyway, so eventually I just stuck around with the whole Sonic ROM hacks, and it was really fun. Before I joined the Sonic ROM hacking forums, I stumbled upon really good games like Sonic Generations and a number of games actually. When I was in third grade, I got Sonic Chronicles, which I thought was a good game, but most of the people at the time called it a bad game, which I didn't really know about. Nostalgic purposes or nostalgic feelings, I guess. But because I actually liked Sonic Chronicles, the Dark Brotherhood, and I feel really awkward saying it right now because a lot of people really hate it.
Is that the RPG one?
Yeah, it is. A lot of
See,
people
the-
hate the music.
The thing with the thing with Sonic is half the fandom hates everything he does, half the fandom loves everything he does.
I'm
That's
surprised
true.
at Sega's ability
This is
to
a
keep that
serious
character
problem Sonic
relevant. I mean,
I mean,
despite despite almost every single game between Sonic Adventure 2 and Colors being absolutely awful, Sega somehow managed to keep that character alive, and I'm impressed, honestly.
Same. I mean, they literally have one mascot, like hell.
I mean, they used to have a lot more, but, Sega, they toss us out this window because it doesn't
Sega-
make as much money as that blue hedgehog.
Ages.
Sega. I swear to God. See, the thing is, like, I'm gonna tell my story about how I found Sonic the Hedgehog in just a moment, but this is something I need to bring up. Sega, you realize a lot more adults play video games than kids. So if it's like the kid market you're trying to get to, bring back some of the old Sega Genesis classics, bring back Streets of Rage, bring back Altered Beast. Those were popular. The kids see the adults playing those games, the kids are gonna want to get on the train, the hype train. This is how it works nowadays.
So
I
are we
think
just
that's what
talking about our
Sonic
origin
Forces-
stories with Sonic?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
sure,
I'll,
I guess,
I'll tell my
yeah.
story now.
Oh.
Okay. So, I believe it was back in first grade. I didn't know anything about retro games. I thought the GameCube was as far back as they go. I didn't bother to research anything. I was happy with the little
Wait, you're
machine.
telling me the GameCube isn't the first game console ever made?
No, that was known as the Odyssey. That's not
The
that's not
Super
part of
Mario
story,
Odyssey?
okay.
That was the first game ever made?
Why are we
Okay.
talking about Mario in the Sonic segment?
Exactly.
Can I finish my story?
No.
God. Oh, okay. How do I mute people again?
I don't know. Just go
Right
for it.
click.
Okay, so, anyways, I go over to a friend's house one day, and he and I just recently became friends. So he's like, hey, do you want to play video games? I'm like, yeah, I love video games. So he takes me to his room, and I see I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was a Model 1 Sega Genesis. I'm like, what is that thing? And he's like, it's a Genesis. I'm like, what does it do?
Genesis
Plays
does.
games. This is a game console? I point at the thing, I'm like, this is a game console? Where are the discs? Doesn't use discs, it uses cartridges. I'm like, whoa. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I had a Game Boy at the time, so I knew game consoles could take cartridges. But it was pretty surreal because I'd never seen anything like the Genesis before. So I play Sonic for a little while. It takes me a little while to get used to it. But once I do, I'm like, oh my god, this is really fun. I go home, and I'm like, what was the name of that console again? But even though I forgot what the Genesis was for years, I did not forget Sonic the Hedgehog.
The funny thing is, that's basically my story, only Sonic was the first video game I ever played. Sonic 2, to be specific.
Huh.
I know. Great game, by the way. He was
I mean-
Sonic, I was Tails, so I'd just fly away as Tails and leave him to drown in the blue liquids of Chemical Plant Zone.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're evil.
I know, I am.
I think he only had the Sonic 1, though, so
Aw,
I never
that's
got to play
sad.
Sonic 2.
I do have a Genesis with Sonic 2 now. Sadly, it's not the very Genesis and cartridge I played when I was younger. That still belongs
got
to
two
my friend who
Genesis.
moved away.
Well, I got a story as well.
All right.
With my representation of Sega. This is a little bit more sad.
Oh.
Oh.
Sonic killed my family.
What?
Oh no. Are we
No,
gonna have to
not
grab the
really.
tissues?
Oh.
Yeah, probably. No, it's a good memory, so I'm just gonna share it with y'all. How about that?
All right.
Okay.
So, just like everyone, I had 2 sets of grandparents. one that lived in Tennessee, where I was born in, and then one in Florida, where I used to live in Pensacola. And I preferred to visit the ones in Pensacola because my grandpa had a Sega Genesis.
Ooh.
And he would frequent a lot of flea markets. And he had like about 5 or 6 Sega Genesis consoles. He just collected them because they were old, and a lot of them just didn't like to work anymore. And then every time I went over there, I got to play the Sega Genesis with my grandpa in his sunroom, and I played Sonic 1, Sonic 3, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, all those games.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
3 and Knuckles.
With
all
new
the
funky
Knuckles.
Did you play Sonic 2 with Knuckles?
Yes, with Knuckles.
Did you
Nice.
play
Broke the
Blue
game like
Spheres?
that.
But did it have new funky mode?
I even played, I think it was, no, I don't, it was a Mean Bean Machine.
Yes!
Oh wow,
Spinball.
that game.
And I played Sonic the Spinball. My grandpa had like the full-on collection of every single Sonic game on the Genesis.
Gimme!
Speaking of the Main Bean Machine, that one boss in Sonic Mania, that was a great throwback to that. I love that boss.
It was
Oh.
good.
Yeah.
Let me
that
just
was
say-
good.
Let me just say this: Sonic Mania. Whenever I turned that thing on, I grinned like a child when I saw the
Oh,
intro
me
of that.
too.
Of that.
I absolutely
It reminded
loved
me of
Chemical
the-
Plant Zone. I have so many memories. Plus the
Yes.
soundtrack to that zone. That's my favorite soundtrack. That's my favorite song in the entire Sonic franchise.
Oh, definitely.
I think
And then,
one thing
long
we can all
story
agree
short,
one thing we can all agree on is that Sonic consistently has always had amazing music.
Yes.
Oh yes, definitely.
Even that Dung Trench Sonic 06 has good music.
Yeah, that's actually
literally
true.
a Sonic game will not. The Sonic game will not. You press start and it will crash, but it will have a rockin' theme song.
Exactly.
Long story short, to end that story, my grandpa unfortunately is no longer with us. But I got all the Sega Genesis and the Sega games too now in
Gimme.
my room.
Gimme.
No hack.
Rude.
No.
Heck, bad. That's a memento of his grandfather.
Aw.
Yeah. I
give-
sold all the duplicate copies of Sonic the Hedgehog, but I kept all the original ones. Like he had 3 copies of Sonic, 3 copies of Sonic 2. I sold 2 of them and I kept 1.
I would have kept them.
Me too.
Yeah.
See, that could have been even. Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
that's my
uh,
experience with the Blue Hedgehog.
Awesome.
My experience is actually like that's how I met Sonic, the story I told. But my experiences with Sonic after that got a little interesting, honestly.
Oh, I know what story you're talking about.
Which one? Which one are you? I'm pretty sure I haven't told you this story.
The live stream.
No, that's a completely
Oh.
different story. I'm talking about back in like middle school days for me.
Oh, then I have no clue.
Yeah, in 6th grade, like I met another friend of mine, and he got me into retro gaming. He excuse me. He introduced me to the Angry Video Game Nerd, and we watched him a lot. I thought the Angry Video Game Nerd was hysterical, and he got me. Yeah, so he got me into collecting retro games. So at one point in another kid in my school, I made a deal with him to like he would give me an NES and a Super Nintendo with some games. All I had to do was give him Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii and then Mario Kart Wii. So, you know, I collected for Nintendo for a while, and my friend and I kind of got into the whole Sega versus Nintendo debacle.
Genesis
Please.
does.
What? It's like 30 years old now? I don't know why I did this day. But essentially, he was always like, Genesis does what Nintendo. He was constantly dick riding the Genesis. And I was constantly dick riding Nintendo. We, like, every time we would hang out, we were, like, arguing about this. Like, we hated each other because of this topic. I mean, I love the guy. I love playing video games with him. But we hated each other in our inner fanboy side. Then one day, by some weird force of the universe, I decide I want a Sega Genesis. But not only that, I want a Sega 32X and a Sega CD to go along with it. It's
Me too.
exactly what he wanted at the time. He wanted that stuff. He actually did get a 32X, but he couldn't get the cable that connects it to the Genesis. And I end up getting that stuff. For my birthday, I got a Sega Genesis Model 2 with the 32X. Then not long after that, I was able to get myself a Sega CD, the Model 2.
Ooh.
And like right around this time, like I call my friend, like, hey, come over, come check out what I've got. I show him it, and he's like, eh. And I go, eh, eh. That's all you have to say is eh. He's like, oh, I'm just not really big into Sega anymore. I'm like,
What?
Nibba, what?
And then you threw everything out the window because your driving force was gone.
No, this is the weird thing. We almost switched places, but we didn't. I was like, dude, the Genesis is amazing. He's like, oh no, the Genesis is overrated. Bitch, you're the one who was like praising me that the Genesis is amazing. What? What the fuck happened? Did we trade souls at somewhere down the line?
Yeah, right when you got the Sega CD, that's when you traded your soul for Sega, because only Sega fans like the Sega CD.
I feel like I traded souls with him. I feel like that's what happened. I mean, nowadays I like Sega and Nintendo. I like Nintendo a bit more though. But the Genesis, the Sega CD, 32X. Looking back on it, I probably wouldn't have gotten the 32X. I would have just gotten the Genesis. But I have it now, so you know, I'm just gonna keep it.
Do you have
Also,
Knuckles
it
Chaotix?
helps with rainbow banding apparently, so that helps a bit.
Do you have
Anybody
Knuckles
who doesn't know what
Chaotix?
that is can just Google it.
Oh, Knuckles Chaotix?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a copy of that.
Ooh,
Bought it
nice.
at HomeCon
How
last
is it?
year. I have not been able to play it yet. I've been saving it.
Oh. I heard it's a good game.
I-
It's the one. Could you even really call it a Sonic game?
It's barely a Sonic game.
Well, it's the one Sonic game that hasn't seen a re-release, and honestly, I want to see a re-release of it. I want.
That was a weird story about Chaotix, is that that was another copy that my grandpa had a copy of that one, but he didn't have the 32X.
Do you still have it?
No, I do not.
Oh no, you shouldn't have done that.
I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it. I think he might have sold it.
That was such a bad move. Last time I checked, Knuckles Chaotix copies are going for like $90.
Whoa.
Dang.
Google that
Really?
right
Please, Sega, just re-release that game.
now. Yes, Knuckles Chaotix. Shopping.
I mean, I'll
What the-
recheck. Oh, what? Uh-oh.
Oh, this must be. Oh, okay. Well, the first thing that showed up was $12.95 Knuckles Chaotix in the box. I'm like, what? But turns out it's one of the it's a reproduction from Etsy. Those are common.
Oh.
Aw.
I mean,
Well,
I'll
darn.
re-look through my collection to see if I have it. I might, but you never do.
Holy shit. Okay, well, here's this. Do you guys know of the Spider-Man game for the 32X?
Not
Nope,
really.
never heard of it.
Okay, well, there was a Spider-Man game released for the 32X. It's actually a pretty bad game. It wasn't properly finished because the 32X was at the end of its life. They're just like, just get the game out, just get it out there. There's an eBay listing for that and a copy of Knuckles Chaotix for $294.65 plus
Hey, $294.
$670 in shipping and handling.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
The 32X has gotten some major clout, and I don't know where it came from, honestly.
I guess to an extent it's been how a lot of those old crappy game consoles got so popular. People want to play them just
I
so they can
mean-
experience how bad they are.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. The 32X, I can say this because I've owned one for a long time. It's not that bad. It's just been ridiculed because the timing was horrible. The idea was, you put this in your Genesis and that's all you need. You don't, this is going to be your next console. Well, then why were you releasing the Saturn in Japan? That it was easily like, it's the 32X just, it went down in history as the worst video game decision ever made.
Sad.
You know what the saddest part about the 32X is? It is the
What's that?
machine that made Sega go downhill.
Really?
Yeah. Like, think
I thought
about
it
it.
was the Dreamcast.
Oh, no. But Sega had pretty much lost like all respect in the not all respect. Like they lost a lot of trust in the gaming community when the Dreamcast was already out. So the whole thing is like they plan the 32X, they get ready to release it, but then they're just like well, the story has two versions. Essentially, it was either Sega of Japan went to Sega of America, was like, hey, you're going to release this 32X thing because the Genesis is so popular in America. Genesis ain't really that popular over here, so you're going to release this 32X. And Nintendo of America reluctantly released it. But the other side of the story is Nintendo of America commissioned this thing because the Genesis was so popular.
Did you just say Nintendo of America?
What? Not now. Not. I was on a roll. God damn it. I was on a roll and you... Okay. So the other version of the story is Nintendo of America commissioned it because of how popular the Genesis was. They figured, hey, just make an attachment. That'll be our next console. Then Sega of Japan, like, you know, a few months into the 32X's lifespan, they're just like, you can't do this. We have another console over here. We cannot have two competing machines for the same generation. It's ludicrous. So they dropped the 32X. And by that time, a lot of people had already bought it. Like, you just said this thing was going to be, you know, the next generation of Sega hardware. Now you're telling me to buy a Saturn? What the fuck? So, you know, that can obviously cause a lot of distrust in a brand or a company name.
Yeah.
And then the Saturn comes along, and the Saturn had a really rough start. That's the thing. You guys know it, the second processor in the Saturn was thrown in last minute.
Really?
Didn't know that.
They were trying to, like, when they saw, like, the PlayStation and the N64, they're like, okay, this machine is underpowered. What are we going to do? Someone's just like, last second, throw a second processor in there. It didn't go well. The coder, the people making the games, like, what the fuck are you doing to us? Now we got to, like, rework the game so they work with the second processor. And that whole debacle was just, it was a mess. It was a mess. Up from the 32X to the end of the Saturn, Sega was a mess.
I mean, have you even seen the advertisement for the 32X?
Yeah, it was extremely suggestive. First one I saw.
Mommy, what are those two Sega machines doing? They're making an arcade machine, dear.
Now I gotta see this. That is hilarious.
I still cannot believe they went that direction.
Sega does it all.
Genesis
So anyway,
does.
I believe where were we before I went on that long rant?
We were talking about Sonic.
Yeah, we were talking about Knuckles Chaotix. It's not really a Sonic
We-
game. Okay,
we
so
found out
I know
about
where
the-
I know where we can go. 2D Sonic games or 3D Sonic games?
2D.
2D.
Ooh. That's actually a hard one.
I mean, unlike a lot of people my age, I didn't grow up with 2D Sonic, so I have no nostalgic... No, I didn't grow up with 3D Sonic, so I have no nostalgic biases for games like Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2 Battles, though great game.
I like them about the same, to be honest. I get different enjoyment from the different types of games.
I will be straight up and say, just because of my experience with Sonic, I just have a preference for 2D Sonic. The last 3D Sonic I played, I think, was either Sonic Unleashed or Sonic the Black Knights.
I always want to play Sonic
Oh,
Unleashed.
that game. Ugh.
The Black Knight. Oh god,
I don't think I want to play that.
no one does.
But Sonic Heroes, that was a great game.
I want to play that too.
I have a problem with Sonic Heroes. I got stuck on one part. I can't figure out what to do, and I just gave up on the game. That was like 3 years ago. I haven't touched the game since.
Okay, we need to do a live stream, and
Okay.
I'll help you figure it out.
Okay.
Well, oh wait.
That'll be the next
Actually-
Monks and Mike's Live.
Oh wait, I forgot to tell one thing about my story.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, the real reason, or the actual reason why or how I found Sonic is because I had a Sega Dreamcast.
No way. That's
I
cool.
played Sonic 1 and 2. Well, no wait, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. But they're really great games. And there's so much memories coming through it that I even got the Steam version of both games. I actually have all the Steam games for Sonic because of the bundle.
I need to check out Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
They're really good.
games.
Oh yeah,
last
soundtrack,
two
of
games.
course, just fantastic.
Especially Sonic Adventure, the first one.
Oh, remember Cityscape though? That was a beautiful song.
It was.
It was.
I
Also-
like it the first 20 seconds of it, then afterwards it's just eh.
You know what? Two of my favorite Sonic songs, well, they're technically Sonic songs, but two of my favorite songs in the Sonic franchise are the opening and the closing themes of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh,
That-
I love Sonic.
That game's
I love
overhated, to be
Shadow.
honest.
I love that game. The intro is
Really?
Wait,
it's just the.
you actually
What?
like Shadow the Hedgehog?
Remember we talked about this last time, but we'll talk about it
No,
again.
I vaguely remember now. What kind of drugs are you smoking? I could definitely use some.
I remember you said
Dude,
you
it's
like
Colorado.
Shadow the
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Hedgehog.
whoa. Yes.
Hey, no drugs here. This is a good family-friendly podcast.
Plus, there's a podcast
GameCubeDude,
table.
I live in Colorado. Just take a wild guess.
Hey, you looking for any roommates for a few months by chance?
But no, I really do enjoy that game. I don't know why. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, but I love it.
Guilty ple-
So
yeah, sounds like it.
So let me tell you this. So you really love the multiple routes that you have to go through just to get the true ending, and you have to go through stiff controls and going through terrible objectives in the game.
Yes.
I didn't
Yes.
think
Really?
I played the game a little bit. I didn't think the controls were that stiff, but
All you-
I'm not a
the
fan
only
of the
problem-
whole all those routes thing.
The only problem is that you can't really aim in that game, but you can jump in the air and then fire, and then the game will auto aim for you. It's the weirdest thing, but I love it.
That's so.
Yeah,
Also,
and also the multiplayer in that game is awesome.
multiplayer?
Yeah, it's
Have
a,
two
Who
player
have you
mode.
played it with?
it's an interesting game. The concept could have been done a bit better, but I think it's a bit overhated, to be honest. It doesn't deserve to be up there with Sonic Boom and Sonic 06.
Oh,
It really
it's
doesn't.
it's leagues better than both of those games combined.
As someone who has played Sonic 06, I can thoroughly assure you Shadow the Hedgehog is a better game.
I swear, you
Would it?
still need to see. You need to play Sonic Boom.
I don't wanna.
Play it.
Oh,
me
you
neither.
gotta.
I don't wanna. Everybody's
What?
been saying that
Wait,
game's
wait.
worse than Sonic
wait,
06.
Wait. What about Fire and Ice though?
Fire and Ice.
What?
I played a demo of that game. It's all right. It's just boring.
Oh. Well, what about how do you guys feel about Sonic Mania? Because when I reacted to Sonic Mania when there was a live stream going on about the 25th anniversary, I fucking screamed the first time in my entire life. I even went out crazy and hit the table several times.
Oh, wow.
The Sonic Mania reveal trailer.
I
reveal
love it.
stream. That stream was hilarious. You need to. There's a YouTuber called Jim Sterling. Look up this episode. There's this video called what is it called? The Sonic live stream is a steaming pile of shit or something like that. It's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
I know why. Because the sound quality is so bad.
And he made a pretty much like a supercut of all the awkward, stupid, dumb, funny moments of that live stream, and it's the best thing ever.
I want you to send me a link to that. I really need to know.
Was
Or
it as
see-
awkward
Alright.
as the mistranslations in the Splatoon 2 stream?
Or
No,
as awkward as the
that makes
translator
that
in the,
look like-
in the Switch presentation.
I think that's what he's talking about. No, this whole presentation when they're reviewing Sonic Mania makes all that look like child's play.
Do you want to know what's the funny thing in the stream? They accidentally showed the Sonic Mania picture before the trailer. In the party. We don't really see it in the live stream. But oh my god, what do you guys feel about Sonic Forces though?
I've played a bit of it, and I will say this. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but it could have been so much better. It feels like it's just trying to be Sonic Generations 2.0. I don't want that personally. I want these games to be able to stand on their own, not just rely so much on nostalgia.
I mean, I really hate the part when in the teaser trailer they did say the team that brought you Sonic Colors and Generations, and it only brought like a few factors from them. It's not all the gameplay thing, which is really sad.
All right, and let's talk about this. So, anyway, So Sonic Mania, it does rely a lot on nostalgia, but at the same time, it can stand on its own. It's a good game. Even if you've never played the other Sonic games, you can immediately get into it. Thing is with a game like Generations, that game it's based almost entirely around nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic Mania, it adds new things to the formula, whereas there's very little original ideas when it comes to Generations.
You know, the thing I find really awkward when I played Sonic Mania and Forces, I will be honest, I honestly don't know which one's better. I know it's weird to say, but when I played Mania the first time, after a few hours of playing it, I honestly became bored of it for some reason.
Really?
Not kidding, there was not much taste to it. I mean, I guess it's because I played so much ROM hacks from the classic games, but I don't know. It just feels really bland. And I feel really bad for it, too. Because, like, Mania had a bit of a story, but it didn't really... It brought Classic Sonic to Forces, even though that's why Classic Sonic was in Forces. But Forces had some kind of a story, even though it was a bad kind of, or a weird kind of story it has. So it's really hard to think whether Mania is better than Forces, or Forces is better than Mania. Probably Mania is better than Forces, but I don't know. Forces has more things than Mania than what I can expect. But in the end of the day, I guess I could say Mania is better, but honestly, I don't know anymore.
Also, another thing, Sega, you really need to tone it down on Green Hill Zone. How many games have you used Green Hill Zone in, or at the very least used assets from Green Hill Zone?
Dude, come on. That's like criticizing Mario for having like the happy zone, where everything's grass and maybe an occasional tree here and there, like the easy zone.
I mean, I know
that's what Green Hill Zone is supposed to be for Sonic.
I know, but come on, do you think they could at the very least tone it down a bit? There's at least about half of all Sonic games I'd say had at least something related to Green Hill Zone in it.
I mean, here's the thing though. It's kind of odd when people actually don't want to see Green Hill Zone anymore, because it's literally been around more than ever, and it has brought Green Hill Zone more than 30 times or 50 times. I don't care, but that's where people don't even care about it. But when it becomes a meme, people start joining the bandwagon, and that's the part I really hate. Also, side note, funny part, the people that were the judges for the Sonic ROM hacking contest had to deal with Green Hill Zone more times than everyone else has to deal with. Literally.
I mean, in my defense, I had a problem with it before everyone started complaining about it.
I mean, Sonic Forces brought Green Hill Zone around four times.
In Mania and Generations, I'll give it this. It makes sense to have that around, because those games are largely based around nostalgia, so you want the fans to be familiar at first, but... Another game.
Just bring up Emerald Hill.
Yeah,
how about that?
Or what about Sonic Lost World, for example? Did that game really need Green Hill Zone in it? Be honest.
Angel Island.
There you go.
Yes, but yeah, but I don't know. Most of the memes that happen in Sonic. Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm in a mixed bag when Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically Twitter and YouTube, has become more of a meme. They actually brought in Sonic to it. Then there's and Knuckles. And for hell's sake, don't bring up the freaking...
No, trust me, we don't bring up dead normie memes here.
I know.
But wait, didn't you technically bring it up, Hack?
Yeah, he did.
You've become the very thing you swore to destroy, Hack.
But I'm bringing the point here. Knuckles has become a meme more than enough times already. I'm really tired of it. There was and Knuckles.
It's funny if you think about like this.
Actually, wait, 1 sec. I'm looking for Angel Island. Do you know the way?
No. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that normie shit.
Okay, I'm calling it quits right now. Let's just put it into
All
this
right.
before we have.
Come on.
We
All right, I
record a
quit the
murder
podcast.
here.
That's enough. You guys will have to find a new host.
All right.
I love how GameCubeDude just doesn't care. Nomad, does that make you feel better?
Look, this podcast is way more relevant than him. If you think he's actually gonna leave, nah, he's all talk. He's all bark. No.
Just watch. He's gonna stop recording. He's just gonna leave.
Oh, he probably
Let's go.
already has.
I'm still here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. So just like tradition, it seems like every single time we have like some kind of weird thing happen at the end. So let's just call it quits.
Please.
All right. So GameCubeDude, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and here on YouTube. Links are in the description below.
HackGame, where can people find you?
Well, people can find me on YouTube, Twitter, maybe Discord, and Instagram. You can find my social media with my name with either HackGame or HackGameX294.
Yeah,
The reason
Instagram.
why I go vice versa with HackGame and HackGameX294 is because people steal my name. Well, not really, but they already used my name. Probably hacked it, and I had to do something about it, which I actually developed HackGameX294 in Tumblr actually when I couldn't come up with any other name. So yeah,
Oh, great. He's on Tumblr now.
I've been.
I mean, hey,
But
Tumblr's
I
better
don't-
than
I don't
Instagram
really-
at the very least.
True.
I don't know.
Nomad, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at NomadicBox87 or on my recently revived YouTube channel. I'm Nomadic. I have some videos planned for that, so keep an eye out for that.
And you can find me, Z Yoshi Man, like everyone said. All the links are in the description. So thank you all so much for watching this episode, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye!